Hi, I'm Jacob Leo Marino at the OU Fabrication Lab. Today we'll be showing you how to safely operate the miter saw. Before operating the miter saw, make sure you have the proper ear and eye protection. In order to keep the work area clean, also make sure that the dust collection is on. We've shown you in the last few videos, but the dust collection knob is on the wall over there. Make sure it's turned to hand. The blast gate for the miter saw is located here. Make sure it's open before proceeding. If you're at a different shop on campus, please ask the staff there about their dust collection system. As with the table saw, do not operate the miter saw while wearing gloves. They can get caught in the blade and interfere with your grip. Miter saw blades are designed to cut material while running at a high speed. If your blade is touching the material when you start the saw, it will grip your material and throw it. It could go anywhere, but it will likely hit you right in the stomach. This is known as kickback. Make sure your blade is clear of the material before starting the saw. I'm ready. When using the miter saw, make sure that you have a stable, comfortable stance. If it feels awkward, it's probably unsafe. Also make sure that you stand out of line with the blade. This will keep you clean from sawdust and any possible kickback. If at any time you're using the miter saw and it feels awkward or unsafe, stop what you're doing, stop the blade, and ask for help. General rule of thumb, do not put your hand where the blade falls or moves, ever. Kickback can easily occur when using the miter saw. When this happens, it will tend to bring your hand towards the blade. Make sure that your hand is at least 8 inches away from the blade at all times when using the miter saw. If you have a shorter piece of material, clamp it down. If you've never clamped material on a miter saw before, we recommend asking a staff member to help you do this. This is called the fence, and this is the table. Make sure when using the miter saw that your material is firmly against the back fence and on the tabletop to avoid dangerous kickback. Oh no, it seems that we've summoned Mr. Kickback. Yeah, I'm Mr. Kickback, and my superpower is that I really suck at using the miter saw. Blech. If you ever see that man in our shop, please immediately tell a staff member. Now we'll talk about Stop that. Okay, I'm talking, okay. Miter saws are capable of cross-cutting material with a vertical angle, known as a bevel, or a horizontal angle, known as a miter. Mechanisms to adjust the miter saw for this will vary by brand. Typically, this involves lifting a lever at the front of the saw and swiveling the saw to your desired angle, indicated by this red needle. Common angle measurements have a, quote, positive stop on major angles, where you can hear the saw click into place for perfect angle placement. Once set appropriately, lower and lock the handle to keep the saw stationary. Some miter saws have instructions on how to adjust the bevel on the table of the miter saw, like here. This is a 15-degree bevel cut. The bevel, the part of the saw that allows us to move into a different angle to cut, can be adjusted by lifting the bevel lock at the front of the saw, or in some cases, loosening the swivel lock handle on the back of the saw. Adjusting the bevel often requires moving the fronts for the blade to clear. If your miter saw has the capability to glide forward for longer cuts, that would be the saw moving toward you, and you wish to do so, lift the locking mechanism on the back of the saw. This will allow the blade to track forward for wider cutting operations. For these types of cuts, pull the saw all the way forward, then lower the blade completely and begin pushing forward to make your cut. This reduces the chance of throwing a piece of material with the blade or the blade pulling itself on top of the material towards you. Now, with all the safety precautions and operation points you've learned, you're ready to make a cut. With your wood securely against the table and fence, press the safety button with your thumb and pull the trigger to begin blade rotation. Lower the blade into your material steadily, but not fast. Keep the blade spinning until the saw is through your whole entire piece of material. Allow the blade to come to a complete stop before retrieving your piece. Congratulations! We just cut a piece of wood on the miter saw. Remember, if you have any questions at any time or feel unsafe, please ask a staff member. My name is Jacob Leo Marino at the OU Fabrication Lab. What will you make?